Now, the 10-minute drill.
This is a big one.
On 1010XL.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Hit it.
Hey! Ow! Hey! All right, time for some sports concepts and rationalizations. We call it the 10-minute drill. At the end of this segment, Beef will hand out a prize pack, and as we head into Players Week, I know it's hard to believe, but it's here.
Yeah.
Your calendar, your sports calendar may be telling you what the heck's going on. What are we going to give out today?
If you're our lucky winner, clear your calendar next week because you're going to get a pair of tickets to Tuesday's action, which includes the Military Appreciation Day concert with John Party. You'll also get a pair of tickets to the Wednesday practice round. That's March 13th. And we'll throw in a pair of tickets to the Celtic Music and Heritage Festival. That's coming up this weekend in downtown St. Aug.
Hey,
Wow. That's a nice little prize pack.
I feel a little bit remiss here. We've been talking about what a big month it is, and the players, and the and the NCAA regionals. Well, the River Run's this Saturday also.
Wow,
which will be it's as big an impact when it comes to a sporting event as anything here in town. So there's that.
That is incredible. And we've each accomplished a River Run or two.
The last River Run I ran, out of nowhere, I said on the Friday, I'm going to run the River Run tomorrow, and you guys made fun of me, and I did, and that's it. I won't never run it again. My knees can't take it.
That'd be tough.
I'd like to do it. I really do. I mean, it's fun. It's a really fun event, and if you are a runner and you've never thought about doing the River Run, you should definitely do it. You should just the setup, the course setup, and they have bands and people cheering, and it's just I hate running. That is the one time a year to run that I enjoyed. I mean, just the atmosphere and the, invigorating.
All right, I'll get things started.
Yes, you do that.
McShay has a mock draft out finally after the combine. The Jaguars, do you want to guess who he has him taking, or do you want me to give you who he's taking and you respond to who he's taking? I will tell you that he has Kyler Murray going number 1 to Arizona.
All right, I think he's going to have them taking It's a line of scrimmage. I don't know which side. So you tell me. Yeah, just
Jawan Taylor. With Foles expected to come to Florida, the Jags need to beef up the offensive line to protect their new quarterback and create some new holes for Leonard Fournette. His mobility, power, and quickness would be welcomed. He'll be starting right tackle on day one. Jawan Taylor.
Seems awful high to me, but that's where Taylor is falling.
Haskins going 6 to the Giants.
Taylor has worked himself up the board on a lot of mock draft websites, past Jonah Williams. So it's certainly a need. If he is a dominant tackle, then I think it's a good pick. It's on the Jaguars to determine if he's a dominant tackle. And it also speaks very poorly for last year's 4th-round pick. You drafted Will Richardson, tackle in round 4 to grow into a potential job there. The fact that the very next year you got to use a first-rounder doesn't speak well. But
in his mock, by the way, all 3 of the tight ends will be off the board at the end of the first round. He has
really? Who's the third?
Irv Smith Jr.
Oh, yeah.
So that would be distressing to me.
I don't think that's going to happen.
But anyway, but
I'm okay with Taylor. I like him more than you do. So
yeah.
Again, of all the positions that we're ill prepared to really dive into, it would be offensive line positions.
Sure,
they're anonymous, unless they're getting called for holding. You don't really pay a ton of attention. So and I'm sure what's happening here with Jawan Taylor that's above our pay grade is even these amateur scouts, and that's what McShay is. He's an amateur scout. No one's paying him for his opinion other than ESPN, but they're actually watching film breakdowns of these, specific ISO positions. So from that standpoint, I guess I can trust it for now. I'm okay with it. Dan, the Gators started back-to-back. By the way, FSU, a nice little comeback last night at home. We don't have to go dig too much deeper into that, but
I would
they
like
beat 15th ranked Virginia Tech. So
I'd like to comment
right.
on that because
okay,
I was going to ask you a question, so I'll just piggyback off that. It was an overtime win, and Leonard Hamilton is 5-0 in his last 5 overtime games.
Okay.
I just, he's gotten just sliced and diced and hammered and criticized, and I'm telling you, man, this guy has taken FSU from nothing and made them a very, very, very good basketball program. And I don't think we give him enough credit. I don't know if he's won ACC Coach of the Year, but I would suggest he needs to win.
They won the league 3-4 years back. He probably won it that year. Well, the the biggest complaint against Leonard Hamilton is the lack of postseason success.
Mm-hmm. Well, they went to the
Especially
Elite Eight last year,
correct.
and they're poised to make another run this year. So
I don't think they're as good as they were last year. I think they're more of a Sweet 16 team, but
they're
Leonard,
24
never know.
6.
No, I know.
Two-time winner of the ACC Coach of the Year.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Oh, 9
I
and
still
12.
think that it's just, he's okay. I don't, you got to go to the, you got to have more than one Elite Eight in 15 years on your resume
I
to wow
understand.
me. So
I just think he's gotten
there's
better
that.
with age. He's a fine wine, Leonard Hamilton.
Leonard Hamilton has forever been very highly thought of. People forget Jordan hired him to coach the Wizards.
Yep.
Back in the day. All right, let's in Gainesville. They've got a big one tonight. Can Florida lose back-to-back to LSU, Kentucky, and still make the tournament?
But Joey Brackets came out this morning. Florida was still a 9. There were 2 SEC programs behind them, but Alabama lost to Auburn and they fell. They're in the last 4 in category at number 12. Florida would be wavering a good deal with those 2 losses. They would, I think, almost have to win an SEC tournament game. By the way, FSU is a double bye. They're a 4 seed in the ACC tournament next week. So the top 4 teams get double byes in the ACC tournament. So anyway, I think they'd be on the I think they'll be on the ropes, but I still think they can make it with a tournament victory. That's what I think.
Well, again, we've talked about the, quote, soft bubble. There are a lot of teams out there that are in a similar spot to Florida. The one thing that remains curious to me about Florida and the love they get, the schedule hasn't been that hard. They're not beating anyone.
No.
Yeah, they're playing good teams tough, and they're a lot. I guess quality
They beat
loss
LSU
matters.
tonight. They're a lock to get in.
For sure. An absolute lot. More they can do nothing
Right.
to play their way out of the tournament if they beat LSU tonight. That I'll definitely agree with you.
No Zion last night. No surprise, according to Doc Murphy, who's been dead on with this one. I think Duke did him a little bit of a disservice when they came out with the day-to-day crap the day after. I thought that was stupid. And
No ramifications from that, though.
no, and he probably won't play Saturday against North Carolina.
I think they've already said that.
He said he'd be surprised. Coach K said he'd be surprised if he played. So then you get him back for the ACC tournament. Well, the ACC tournament, correct me if I'm wrong, it's like 3 games in 3 days, right? If you're Duke and
Sure,
you're winning, that'd be awful tough for him to jump in and play.
Well, if you're 100% healthy, you play 3 games in 3 days. If he's not 100% healthy, he's not going to play.
Might not be in
so.
great basketball shape, though.
Yeah.
But nonetheless,
I have a feeling he's probably working out.
by next Sunday was a selection Sunday, so it'll be go time.
I think Duke has played this perfectly, and from this standpoint. Instead of the PR nightmare of shutting it down, he's in essence shutting it down 1 game at a time until he sees if he's perfectly healthy. And that is the way to do it, rather than just carte blanche. Yes, I'm shutting it down. I'm worried about my NBA dollars. That's a silly argument. Zion Williamson is the number 1 pick next year if he comes back next Friday and tears his ACL. So I had a brush with greatness with my basketball evaluation. Can I share it with you?
Please.
So I'm watching R.J. Barrett on the highlights this morning.
Mm-hmm.
And out of nowhere, and I've never thought this particular thing about him, I had a comparison in my mind. I said, man, you know who he really reminds me of is this guy.
All right.
Well, they bring Seth Greenberg on, and they're talking about Duke, and he's talking about R.J. Barrett, and he says, he's a lot like this guy, the exact same guy I was thinking.
How about that? What is it?
DeMar DeRozan.
DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah, he reminds me of DeMar DeRozan. He plays like DeMar DeRozan. He's about the same size, and it was like one of those,
I like it.
startled me
I like it.
almost. All right, that's enough for the 10-minute drill?
That's 10-minute drill. Sports concepts and rationalizations coming your way. Let's do caller number 2 right now at 641-1010. Beef, tell them what they get.
Once again, guys, our lucky winner is going to get a pair of tickets to Tuesday at the Players, featuring the Military Appreciation Day concert with John Party. They'll also get a pair of tickets
Let's
to
party.
Wednesday's practice round on March 13th, and a pair of tickets to head down to St. Augustine this weekend for the Celtic Music and Heritage Festival.
All right, let's do that. We come back. I want to tell you why I think Juwan Taylor would be a mistake for the Jags.
Oh.
And also,
Taylor hater.
We got Brunch with the Tour coming up, and it struck me we should talk a little bit about the King this week, because the King of Golf, that'd be Arnold Palmer. His documentaries were on the Golf Channel last night, and it's fascinating stuff. So, and it is API week, so we'll
right,
discuss
I have one
the
other-
late great Arnold Palmer.
One other thing I'm going to drop in when we come back on the other side, too, before we get to trending. And I told you that I will occasionally slide down the YouTube wormhole. I got down the YouTube wormhole yesterday, and I watched all of them. Remember the old This Is Sports Center promos?
Yes.
Might be the best thing ESPN's done, including their college football game day coverage. And I picked one out of the hundreds that I want to play when we return.
That was long. The music bed ran out.